Welcome back. You've now reached the section where it's time to enter the medications the patient received for treatment of their rare genetic disorder. You can choose here to focus on those treatments that had the most significant impact, either because they helped a lot or they made the condition much worse, and can enter all of the drug names of the medications you wish to report here. For demonstration purposes, I'll choose abacavir, Aberylex, and abatacept. It's important to enter the information about the primary and secondary outcomes, targets, as well as outcomes, along with dosing information, as these are associated with each drug. So in order to enter the outcome information, click on the pencil icon next to the drug name. First, you'll see questions about the dosing and adverse events, such as when the patient began treatment and whether they're continuing it, what their initial dosing regimen was, if that dosing regimen changed, and if so, what the final or current dose is, and whether the patient had any side effects from the treatment, where you can choose from a drop-down list of options, but as well as where the patient was treated with this medication. But the most important part is the primary target and response. Here you'll describe what the primary reason for the patient's doctor to have prescribed the drug was, based on the symptoms that you previously listed or targets that you previously listed. So for example, I might say that the primary reason that the physician prescribed abacavir was to try to treat the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy with symptoms, that the effect of the abacavir on the patient's primary target was that they improved, and I could specify what initial signs or clinical markers of improvement might have been. I'll then select continue and note whether the treatment also seemed to have an effect on any additional targets or patient symptoms. If they did, I can add an additional effect detailing which of these symptoms also seem to make a difference. The drug seemed to make a difference for. So for example, perhaps the patient was also having difficulty gaining weight, and maybe even surprisingly, the treatment seemed to have an effect on that as well, even if it was originally given for the patient's hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I'll then save the other treatment effect, and I could add additional ones if I so chose. Then I'll click continue and describe how long after beginning abacavir it was until the treatment effect was noticed. So perhaps it was 1 month. Then there's a free text box for including any additional information. For example, why the dose was changed. Click continue to finish this section. You can now proceed to do the same thing for the other drugs that you have entered. Once you have done that, select continue. And you've now reached the end of the case report form, where you're asked if you would like a reminder to update this form, as well as given the opportunity to upload images. This is purely optional. However, it can be helpful if you would like to provide additional context to upload images, for example, of genetic testing results, X-rays, or laboratory reports. However, please be sure to remove any patient identifiable information from these images before they are uploaded, either by cropping them or putting a black box over that information. Press continue to go to the final screen, where you receive a final summary page detailing the information that you have presented. You have the option to review this information for accuracy and completeness, and can return to other parts of the case report form if you find that there is additional information or changes that are needed. Then proceed back to the final review and click submit to share your case. Remember that if you have any questions as you're entering your case report or run into any problems, we're here to help. Please email us at curesupport@nih.gov for assistance. Thank you for taking the time to share your rare genetic disorder treatment experience with CureID. Listen now for our last video on what happens after you've submitted your case.